Water, water everywhere. Yes. When I was a student in school, undergrad, um, I needed to make, I needed to have it raining and a wet, cloudy, awful looking day. And I had my actors out there having rain put on it. Okay? On the average cloudy day. When I got my, oh, they got soaked. When I got my film back in there, I couldn't see the raindrops. Where's my rain? Oh, you have to backlight it. I'm going to backlight it? You got to be kidding. I'm going to have 120 volts sitting out there? How do you think I'm going to do that as a student? You can't do that. You have to have big umbrellas and everything else. I couldn't backlight it. I saw a film made in Korea, and it was raining outside. And these people were standing in the rain. Why? Because you saw a little drip off the guy's hat. But you didn't see any rain. Yeah. And today, these days, in this world that we live in, if I was a producer, a movie producer, I would have a lot of animation, like a lot of green screen stuff. And with that, I can put people in the background that don't exist, buildings in the background that don't exist. Um, I could have people sitting in a restaurant and two people sitting at a table at a restaurant, and all the people in the back are all green screen. So my camera can move around. Basically, they're sitting at a table in a restaurant, there's just nothing there. I could do that. On the outside, if I was to do that thing, I can remember Singing in the Rain. Yeah, yeah, whatever it was, Singing in the Rain. Okay, Debbie Reynolds was in it. Yeah, but they backlit the place. They had to, otherwise you couldn't see the rain. they they have all these little lights around there backlighting because then they show the droppings of the rain. That's which is one of the problems. Um, Basically, one of the hardest things to photograph is water. You know, a tub of water looks like a tub of water, but if you splash it, it doesn't. Well, you've seen the movies with a higher speed thing. A ship is going through the water and get these big things, or somebody, yeah, that they're awful. It's awful hard. You almost have to do as higher speed the camera to have the stuff, but the stuff then looked like globs, or somebody was said, yeah, it's a pan of water looks like Jello moving back and forth. It just doesn't have the texture of water, and water can pick up reflections, the little rainbows in that of a spray. What we're used to seeing with our eyes, the camera doesn't see. Okay, but with computer animation, as I said, green screen, with computer animation, now the person can say it's raining outside and it doesn't have to be raining. You, with computer animation, you can put the rain in there and you can see the drops dripping off the person. In my case, the glasses or my hat. Now those are all in the computer, but now the public thinks it's raining. Well, it's kind of like this. Lord of the Rings had night scenes were shot at noon. The old things about blue from the moon. Yeah, you see everything's blue. Now they just shoot in the daytime, and they just simply remove the light. You can also remove the shadows. Nice things. The moon can be out, but there's really no shadows. As I said, we go back to water, and what was that one? The monster from South America, the shape of water. Yeah, where you have water beads on the window, and that's all computer generated. Everything. She might be real, but nothing else is real. Well, of course, the guy in the suit might be real also, but the water doesn't have to be real. It could be computer generated water. Remember the Ten Commandments with Moses' stick and going across the water, and the water went like this, and reality was a big bowl of jello. Yeah, what are you going to do? Well, let's see. Yes. The reason you can do this, and I can't do it on this workstation, is that I've got 16 gigs of RAM in this workstation, and it's 256 of storage. For me, over there, I've got 16 gigs of RAM in a tabletop workstation. The one I got on the floor, I've got 32 gigs of RAM in their workstation. That's not enough. The processor is not enough. These two on the floor are Xeon processor. This is a 7th gen that thing. That's not enough. For me to make it look like good raindrops in a flash flood, I have to have something with a lot more kick to it. Now, they make a Dell desktop that has 192 gigabytes of RAM, and it can go to 2 terabytes on a hard drive, and it only costs $14,000. But it's the process of putting this stuff into where you can see it. And of course, then you download it into a farm, a computer farm, where they can crunch the numbers. And they have really big stuff, and there's a lot of crunching in numbers. And the stuff, instead of my $14,000 desktop, it can go to $140,000, everything else. Oh yeah, they have the big stuff. I've always said the big stuff. It just happened. I could never afford that. So I can afford the cheaper looking water. I can't afford the more expensive looking water. What was the Ombus? Yeah, that was where they did everything inside of a computer. That's it. Why? To give the scene texture. And a water drop, and if you look at it, in real world, a water drop takes in everything around it and your water drop on your screen to look at it, it has to take in the reflections, the everything around it. And water drops do happen to have shadow when they go. And you really don't want to do it in slow motion. You want to do it so it looks real. Slow motion, you kind of lose the effect. Then you want the people looking at your film to say, how did they do that? The shape of water, how did they do that? The moisture on the window, or even better, two people talking each other on a December day with snow, cold, really cold, and you see their breath. Where in reality they're standing in the studio under hot lights, and 95-degree weather under hot lights, and they're sweating a little bit. And what you do in post is to remove the sweat and add the breath. That's an effect. The steam. You can create that extra little texture in there, which is, of course, very expensive to do, but me, on my Adobe Creative Suite 6, I guess I could do it, but I would have to use somebody else's raindrops. I would have to use somebody else's software programs, which is, of course, developed in that. So it can be done, but not by me, without something else, a lot more stuff. Would I like a $14,000 system? Who wouldn't? Gamers will love that, and I think gamers pay something like that for their desktops. With the RAM in it, you're talking 192 gigabytes of RAM. Oh yeah, stuff really moves. Makes things look real. Makes me look. Am I real? Yeah. So, yeah, I've got more here on this thing. I've got 3 pages of this. And, yeah, maybe somebody can make the, oh, did you see the Korean movie that, the clip of the helicopter shooting up all the, or was it a jet, shooting up all the enemy's Russian tanks and helicopters and aircraft, and all these little explosions going off. I looked at that and said, that doesn't look real. Oh, it's a war game. But, yeah, I have a strange feeling that was part of the attack by the Russian Air Force on a lot of simulations of things that they were being destroyed. All these were military sites. No, they weren't. They were civilian homes. Well, they all contain military equipment. Right. Viva Ukraine! Viva Ukraine! But, oh, am I getting political? I'm not supposed to get political. Not with this stuff. But that's about computer simulation. Even all the stuff you see on television. That's why a lot of TV shows cost, $300,000-$400,000 at a time, because a lot of the stuff they have isn't real. As I said, a dripping off a person's glass or hat rim is expensive to do, but it sets the mood. So, okay, I think that's it.